This video is going to be an olive skin tutorial. The reason I'm making this video is just to show you a nice cohesive glam makeup look. You could make it more dramatic, less dramatic, but I'm just showing you colors that work really well on olive skin tones. Olive skin tones and gold skin tones are not the same thing. So if you have a warm undertone, that is not the same thing as having an olive undertone. Olive literally means you have a green undertone, and that is more of a kind of neutral undertone. Warm colors like peaches and oranges and golds and stuff like that aren't necessarily going to flatter you just because you see yellow in your skin. Sometimes you see yellow in your skin, but if you look a little bit harder, you'll notice that it's actually a green undertone. And that's what I have. That's what a lot of Mediterranean ethnicities have, South Asian ethnicities. It is a bit of a generalization, but it can help you kind of figure out what your undertone might be, and knowing your undertone can help you choose products, choose clothing that makes you glow, that instead of making you look sallow or sick. And you know, I don't subscribe to like rules about what kind of makeup you should wear and what kind of colors you should wear. You should wear whatever you like. I struggle finding colors that work for me and that make me feel like I'm glowing and that don't make me feel like I look sick. But as a makeup artist and a lover of color theory, I do believe that color theory works. I mean, this is not a natural makeup look, but these tones look like they belong on my face. So that's kind of the perspective that I'm approaching this video from. I do have another video. I'm not sure if it's up yet. I'm not sure in which order I'm going to post, but my other video is all about products for olive skin tones. So this is going to be more of a tutorial, just showing you a little bit of the application and creating this cohesive look. But I'm not going to get into like all of my different favorite color schemes for olive skin tones. I'm going to save that for the other video. Without any further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, I'm so excited to be doing a makeup tutorial. This is great. Sometimes when I'm doing dramatic eyes, I do my eyes first, but generally I like to do my foundation first if I'm just doing like something more quick and sort of natural. I mean, this is still going to be like glam, but anyway. So I'm going to start off with my foundation. I already have my skincare on. I custom blend foundations for my clients, and for myself, I have a couple of different ones. There are different toners that can adjust the undertone of the foundation, add warmth, add coolness, add an olive tone. So mine has green in it for my olive undertone. But when you're shopping for foundations, generally you want to look for something that's more, if they don't have one that appears olive, that has that little bit of green to it, you definitely want to opt for something a little bit more yellow as opposed to more pink or peach. But even still, with yellow foundations, I find them to be a tiny bit off. I find them to make me look a tiny bit sallow, but they're way better than like the pink foundations or the peach foundations. But anyway, I just make my own, so that's what works for me. So I'm gonna start off with one pump on my Real Techniques. This is the contour brush, but because it's synthetic and it kind of has those tightly packed bristles, I like to use it as a foundation brush. But it's not too tightly packed, so I feel like I can buff the product in. Now I'm going to do the under eyes. So I kind of like to use a peachy corrector. So I'm trying this one out right now. This is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Camouflage Corrector. I really like the texture of this. So I just took a little bit of that on the back of my hand and on a small dense brush. This is the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. I am going to pat that underneath my eye and in the inner corner. The peach in here is going to correct the blue tones around my eyes that are causing that appearance of dark circles, because orange is the opposite of blue, so it helps to neutralize that tone. I got this in an influencer box. If you don't know what influencer is, basically you fill out surveys and they send you free product. You don't need to be like an influencer to do it. You don't need to have like a bunch of followers. Anybody can do it. I'll put my invite link down below if you're interested in participating in influencer campaigns, but they did send me this for free, and I really like it actually. So now I'm going to brighten up underneath the eyes. For this, I'm going to use the Cover FX Power Play Concealer in the shade P Light 2. And I do find, P means pink, I do find that the pink in here does help brighten up under my eyes a little bit. But if I use too much, it does alter like the appearance of my skin tone. So I'm going to use it really sparingly. And I'm going to use it mostly close to my nose because that's where I want the most brightness. I don't like bringing a ton of brightness out here just for my face shape. And then I'm going to blend it out with the tip of my large beauty blender. And I am going to bring it onto the eyes a little bit to cancel out discoloration. Then I'm going to bounce it over the nose and between the eyebrows a little bit because I tend to get redness in those areas. I don't highlight all over the face with my lighter concealer. I'm just not really into that. It looks really good on medium to dark skin tones. I just like don't want to look like ghostly. Like I don't think it looks super healthy on me when I do that. So for my translucent powder, I use the e.l.f. HD Under Eye Setting Powder, and I'm just going to put that on with my beauty blender. It's super finely milled, so I feel like it doesn't add cakiness on my skin, which even though my skin can get a little bit oily, it can look really cakey, especially around the eyes. And then I'm also going to set my T-zone with that, just using the tip of my beauty blender. So I have a really natural cool tone to my hair, and a lot of people with olive skin have like a similar situation where their hair doesn't have like any natural yellow or red to it, or even like it's like an ashy or brown. So if you have that kind of coloring, then I suggest Granite from Anastasia. I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward through this. I do have a dedicated brow tutorial that like kind of talks about how to measure your brows and stuff. So I will link that down below if you're interested. Brows are on. Now the next thing I'm going to do is my cheeks. So I have this contour palette from this MLM brand called Motives. It has a contour, bronze, and highlight, and you could tell which one in here I like the best. So I really do like a cool toned contour. Sorry guys, my camera stopped recording and I already did my contour. I dusted just a little bit of the warm shade in the middle everywhere. But not everywhere, like across the forehead, on the temples, and on the cheekbones, basically on the perimeter of my face. And then I used the contour shade in a much more concentrated fashion. But you can kind of tell it went a little patchy, and that's another reason I don't want to keep using this product as I'm running out of it. I mean, the first reason is I don't use the whole thing. If you use too much of the warm shade, it will not be flattering against your like neutral skin tone, you know what I'm saying? So I used a little bit just to give myself a healthy glow. But mainly I used the cool toned contour. I want to try the Pixie contour product, and I've tried Anastasia Fawn, which I do like, but I want something just a little bit cooler, you know what I'm saying? So leave your recommendations down below. So this is one of the stars of the show. This is Hourglass Mood Exposure Ambient Lighting Blush. This is a beautiful mauve tone. Since mauves have this neutral quality to them, they tend to flatter a range of skin tones, but especially olive skin tone. I even used this on Allison. If you guys follow my Instagram or you're a client of mine, you have probably met Allison. She's my hairstylist, but she is Filipino and has this deeper olive skin, but very similar undertone to mine. She has like a very strong green quality to it. So she looks amazing in mauves and purples as well. Even though she's darker than me, I use a lot of the same products on her that I use on myself when I do her makeup. So anyway, Hourglass Mood Exposure, if you don't have it in your life, get it. It is the most beautiful blush, from the tone to the texture to the buildability of it. It is so buildable. Like even if you have a darker skin tone than mine, I think you'll really like this. So I concentrated the contour on the perimeter of my face and towards the back of my cheekbones. So this I'm gonna put slightly on the apples and just kind of connect it to the bronzer and contour, and hopefully remedy some of that patchiness. Great, so now we can, oh my god. Great, so now that the face and the eyebrows are done, we can move on to the eyes. So I am going to start off with my Milani Soft and Sultry palette. I did a full dedicated review on this palette. I am going to link that up in the cards and down below if you're interested. But you know, I like this palette. It's not my favorite palette in the world, but what I think is truly unique about it is the color selection. So that is why I'm using it. So I'm going to start off with a flat eyeshadow brush and go in with this light cream color shade. All right, so popping that really light neutral shade all over. Then using an e.l.f. crease brush. Is that what this is called? Yep. I'm gonna use this shade right here, and I'm gonna add just a touch of that shade right there and just pop that into the crease. I'm just taking a MAC 217. These shadows aren't like the highest quality, so I kind of regret going in with a cheap brush because it didn't blend out amazing. But with better brushes, they definitely do the job. And then I'm just gonna take this medium brown shade again directly on that MAC 217. These shadows are dusty, you definitely wanna tap your brush off. And then I'm just gonna create an outer V shape. And I'm just kind of bringing that onto my lash line as well. And then taking this Sigma Blending E36 brush, it's just like a tiny little blending brush, which I love. I am going to start working in some of these darker browns, and then I'm gonna work up to the black. So I'm gonna start with this one. I'm just putting that a little bit more concentrated right in the outer corner, and I'm enhancing that wing shape. And then I'm gonna kind of go back and forth between, I'm using smaller brushes for placement, and then I'm gonna take my MAC 217 to blend that out. And then this darker brown, I'm not really bringing into the crease. I'm just kind of keeping it concentrated on the mobile lid and extending it out, but I'm not bringing it up high. Definitely want some color above the crease, but you generally want this to be more of your medium, slightly warmer shades, and then the cooler, darker shades you want to use to deepen out the outer corner without bringing them up too high. Okay, so I'm actually not going to add the black until I line my eyes, because I usually blend in the liner with a little bit of that black shadow when I do this technique, so I'm going to wait on that. I am going to take a shimmer and put it on my lid. So this is a palette that I curated for my best olive skin products video, so I'll explain that palette in that video, but let's just choose some fun shadows from here to start. So I'm going to start off with Vanessa's Vanity Vintage Champaign. This is an amazing shadow, super shimmery. This, depending on like which transition shades, like which mattes you pair it with, could lean more warm, but it's definitely like what I would call like a cool bronzy gold, as opposed to like a really warm orangey yellowy gold. So when I pair it with other cool toned eyeshadows, it's gonna take on the character of those shadows. I'm just gonna use my finger with that. I mean, look at that. That is so amazing. Okay, that is really pretty, but it's not the color scheme I was going for. I don't know why I made that last minute decision. I think I saw it and I was like, ooh, sparkly. Okay, but anyway, I mean, I didn't ruin the look. It still looks really pretty. It's just not what I was like originally going for. I like get in this weird headspace sometimes. So I'm gonna top it off with Vanessa's Vanity Glow Baby. If you can't tell, Vanessa's Vanity has like some of my favorite shadows. So this is Glow Baby. I'm just gonna dip into that one. And I'm just gonna pop that right in the center. Wow. Now I'm gonna take another Vanessa's Vanity highlighter. This is Athena. And I'm gonna pop that in my inner corner. Jumping back into my Milani Soft and Sultry palette, I'm going to take a push liner brush and the black color and tapping that off really well. I am just going to stamp that into the upper lash line. And I'm creating a little bit of a winged liner effect with this. And then taking this really teeny tiny brush, I don't know where the hell I got this, B7 small pointed contour. I mean, it's just like this tiny brush. I'm loading that up with the black color. And I'm just stamping that right in the outer corner and connecting it to the eyeliner. Slightly larger brush that we were using before. This is the Sigma one. And just feather that out. And I'm going back in with some of the browns that I was using before to just blend that into the shimmery color. I'm totally realizing that I said I was gonna do my foundation first because I was doing a more natural eye look. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway, I don't have fallout, it seems, so, you know, thank goodness. I am just going to take a black liquid liner and, am I still recording? Yes. And I am just going to create the faintest line with this. just basically so my lashes have something to connect to. Now I'm just wiping off my push liner brush, and I am going to take that medium brown shadow, tap it off, and I am going to just push that into my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take one of those darker browns on the same brush and just blend that in closer to my lower lash line. And then wiping off the brush, I am just going to wiggle the brush to blend it out. All right, I am going to go off camera and do my lashes and mascara. I think I'm going to use the Kiss lashes in the style Jubilee. These are like a faux mink style. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right, this camera doesn't have autofocus, so I'm just like leaning forward and I hope you can see that this is the finished eye look. I'm not sure how I feel about these lashes on me, but that has nothing to do with olive skin. I haven't highlighted, I just realized, so I'm actually gonna go back in with Vanessa's Vanity Athena, which is what I used on my inner corner. So, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. So, I mean, the texture of her highlighters is just amazing, but specifically, I love this tone. It's neutral. I mean, it's neutral leaning cool, which is what we're going for with most of the colors in this tutorial. It's pretty icy, but it's not like straight up silver or like actual like mauve-y like on my face. Like it's still like a nice flattering, like close to a skin tone kind of color, but it's not pulling like gold champagne, you know what I'm saying? It's like a nice icy neutral champagne. And then for lips, I usually like to match the tone of my lips to the tone of my blush, so we're gonna go with a mauve. This was part of the Sephora birthday gift last year. This is Bite Beauty Glace Matte Lip Crayon. This is a beautiful shade. A lot of individuals with olive skin tones have a natural mauve to their natural lip color, so this is gonna mimic that really well. Okay, so on me it is pulling a tiny bit too purpley. I am going to add a nude. This is Anastasia Pure Hollywood liquid lipstick. On its own, this color looks okay. On me, it is more of a neutral pinky nude, but it's a little bit off. But I really do like it to lighten up other lipsticks. And then my favorite lip gloss of all time, this is Marc Jacobs Skin Deep. So that is it, you guys. I am so excited with how this look turned out, but I'm not surprised because I finally kind of have a grip on my undertone and which kinds of shades look good on my coloring. I hope you learned something today about color theory. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you want to see next. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.